सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। नान्तः प्रज्ञं न बहिष्प्रज्ञं नो भयतः प्रज्ञं न प्रज्ञानघनं न प्रज्ञं नाप्रज्ञम् अदृष्टम् अव्यवहार्यम् अग्राह्यम् अलक्षणम् अचिन्त्यम् अव्यपदेश्यम् एकात्मप्रत्ययसारम् प्रपञ्चोपशमं शान्तम् शिवमद्वैतं चतुर्थं मन्यन्ते स आत्मा स विज्ञेयः। Chaturtham manyante, they call it Chaturtham, fourth. So Atma, in fact, this Chaturtham, Utturiyam is Sa Atma, it is the very self, Sa Vigneyaha, and that is how the Chaturtha, the Turiyam has to be known. It's a very important thing here. So the discussion was एवं तर्हि प्राणादि सर्वविकल्पास्पदत्वात् तुरीस्य शब्दवाच्यत्वम्. So that is all right. All these different possibilities of describing Turiya in any way were reviewed. And how to establish how? Shashtirva, Rudhirva, Jatirva, Kriyava, Gunova. That if one is related to other, then you can describe it, but Turiya is unrelated because nahi sad asatoho sambandha. What all we know and with what we can describe. We can describe Turiya with reference to what we know, what we experience is asat. And Turiya is in no way related to asat because nasat asatoho sambandha. There is no sambandha or connection between the snake and the rope. So this asat world, how can we describe Brahman as related to that? Because there is no relationship, no connection. Navi pramanantara vishayatvam swarupena gavadyavat, like a cow. So that is how an object is known, an entity is known as cow, a buffalo. These are all the rudhi. That's how we know them commonly. But rudhi also can be employed for something that is otherwise known by perception. Pramanantara vishayatvam. If an entity is vishaya or object of pramanantara, of a pramana means of knowledge other than shabda. If something is known by means other than shabda, such as perception. So cow is known by perception, therefore there can be a name for this entity called cow, or buffalo, or nose, or head. If it is not known, then you cannot give it name. Name can be given, so name can be arbitrary. Name can also have a reason, meaning, like Pankaja, for example. Pankajatam Pankajam, this lotus is called Pankaja. So you can trace it, you can have the etymological tracing also. Sometimes I said cow, buffalo. So you may not be able to trace it. Goho, whatever, Mahishaha. Maybe or maybe not. But in any case, a name is possible for an entity which can be perceived, meaning perception, pramanam, which is other than shabda, then shabda can describe it. But turiya cannot be perceived. Atma nirupadikatvat gavadivatnapi jatimatvam. Or a cow is another example again given in a different context. That cow is a jati, is the class having members. So cow is a member of the entities possessed of the cowness, which is a jati. So cow is a vyakti, an individual entity belonging to a class called cowness. So this is possible if there are more than one members of a class, then there can be a member that can be indicated by possessed of the common elements of the class. But then Turiya is not born, it is not a member of a class of things, therefore jati, it doesn't have birth, it is not a member of a class. Therefore also Turiya doesn't have jati, can't be described in words. Samanya Vishesha Abhavat. So Gotva, the cowness, is Samanya. A given cow is Vishesha. When Samanya Vishesha Sambandha is there, then alone something can be called a class and a member. But Brahman or Turiya is beyond the ideas of Samanya and Vishesha. It is not Samanya also. It is not Samanya means that which is universally present in a given thing. The gold is Samanya, universally present in all the ornaments. In that sense, Samanya, but Turiya, even though all pervasive, still is not Samanya. Not present in everything as the ness of a thing. And therefore, there is no ness in Turiya. The cowness, the buffalo-ness, when something possesses ness, then it is the Samanya, and then there is a member called cow, possessing cowness. So a cow has Vishesha, cowness, cow, and Samanya cowness. If an entity possesses the Samanya Visheshatvam, then alone it can have a jati, it can have a class. But Turiya does not lend itself to any Visheshata nor any Samanyata. Samanya Vishesha Bhavat, there is no ness in Turiya. So, therefore, if there is no ness, There is no samanya, then there is no vishesha also. So there is no jatimatvam. Nabhikriyavatvam. Pachakadivat avikriyatvat. And turiya is absolutely actionless. Meaning unconnected action. Means actionless means not inactive. Something can be inactive now and can become active. No. Actionless means that which is unconnected to action. Therefore, action can never be connected, and therefore it cannot be described through action. Like a pachaka, vachaka, etc. Napi gunavatvam niladivat nirgunatvat. Reward of all the qualities such as blue, red, etc. Asthulam, ananu, akhasvam, adirgham. The state of grossness, subtleness, longness, shortness. Therefore, cannot be described by the guna. Ataha nabhidhanena nirdesham arhati. Therefore, turiya cannot be described as so and so. You cannot describe turiya as such and such. If something can be described like that, available for words. Doesn't have so and so-ness, such and suchness. Therefore, turiya cannot be described in words. Shasya vishanadimatvat nirasakatvam tarhi samatvat. Shasya vishanadi samatvat nirasakatvam tarhi. Doesn't possess any qualities, doesn't possess any visheshata or any greatness, any qualities, no distinctions. What is the purpose of knowing an entity like that? You always get some experience, some benefit by knowing something that is great, something that is wonderful, something, so then alone there is a purpose of knowing that. So, here the example is that Rajadehi Upasanasya Phalavattvopalambhat. A king is great, powerful, and therefore we worship that, then there is some reward. Even in knowing king also there is reward because he will be useful in some way. If turiya does not possess any distinctiveness, doesn't possess greatness, is not no gloriousness, no greatness, no distinctiveness, understand? When we say that turiya is devoid of all the attributes, even greatness is not there, glorious is not there, wonderful, nothing is there. If you see some Grand Canyon is wonderful, then you get some experience and there is a thrill. So knowing something that is great, knowing something that is wonderful, knowing out of this world, then that knowledge will be rewarding by giving you an experience of thrill, happiness. No greatness, no bigness, nothing. So what would the knowledge of turiya, what reward would be there? Nirathakatvam, it is meaningless even if you can know it. So we accept that all right, it cannot be described in words. Then it doesn't possess any qualities that we know, you see. When something is described in words like great, wonderful, etc., then we can relate to that, we can understand what it is and we can have an experience and we can have a thrill. Or by worshipping that we can be rewarded. This one doesn't have any gloriousness, no greatness, no wonderfulness, nothing. So knowing it, worshipping it, what reward would be there? Nirathakatvam. See, all these questions or doubts are based on our experiences in this day-to-day world, understand? And therefore, as though turiya has to be experienced like that, right now, turiya is something asa vigneya. He has to be known. And so, all the conventional ways of knowing anything are explored here. And we find that turiya does not lend itself to any conventional ways of knowing. neither by perception, nor by inference, nor by description. So, avyapadesham can describe by words. Alakshanam cannot be inferred. Adrishyam is not perceived. Agrahyam cannot be grasped. So, any conventional or known ways of in some way connecting, reaching, knowing, getting, grasping something, Turiya does not lend itself to any of those things. So, very frustrating. How do you know it? If you cannot describe in words, and even if you know it, what's the point in knowing an entity like that doesn't possess anything you can relate to? We cannot relate to this entity because it doesn't possess anything that we can relate, because all worldly things we can relate to. This is not so. So, the brilliant answer here, what's the result of knowing Turiya? It says, Na Atmatvavagame Turiyasya. Understand that Turiya is to be known as Atma. Turiyam is not to be known as something different from me, other than all these questions will be there. If Turiya were something different from me, then the need to describe in words, infer it, etc., grasp it, or to experience it, and then there will be some kind of reward of that experience. But no. It says, Atmat avagame turiyasya. Turiya, which is devoid of all distinctions, is simply to be known as a self. All distinctions, devoid of all distinctions. Meaning that Turiya is not distinct from anything. Nothing is distinct from Turiya. Meaning Turiya includes everything, doesn't exclude anything. Then Atma Trishna, so Turiyasya Atma Trishna Vyavrutti Hetutvat Anatma Trishna Vyavrutti Hetutvat. Turiya is to be known as Atma. For Atma there cannot be Trishna. There cannot be Trishna, desire, craving for myself, because I am already achieved, accomplished. So Atma can never become the object of desire. There are objects of desire. Trishna is there because there are things other than Atma, or I think they are other than Atma. Something becomes an object of desire like this bunch of grapes because it is different from me. And therefore it is delicious. I like to enjoy that. I'm hungry. So anything that is different from Atma can become the object of desire, raga or dvesha, either way. Atma, myself, cannot become the object of raga or dvesha. I hate myself, I love myself, you may say so. But when you say I love myself, it means you love your fingers or you love your face or love something like that. You create a separation with yourself and face, and then you say, I love myself. I hate myself. So you create a separation between your mind and yourself and say, I hate myself. But self that I am cannot become the object. It is one who says this. The hater does not hate himself, understand? The hater always hates something different from him. The lover does not love himself. Lover always loves something other than himself. Atma cannot become the object of love or hate, and therefore cannot become object of desire. There cannot be Trishna. Trishna can be both ways. I don't want it. Or I must have it. This kind of Trishna cannot arise about Atma. This Trishna, Vedanta looks upon as the source of all the sorrow. Because Trishna can never be fulfilled. You see? Trishna can be for something that is not achieved, thought to be different from myself, thought to be anatma. But that this is anatma, different from myself, unachieved, is a conclusion on my part. And therefore, all attempts to acquire, experience, enjoy are based on one assumption that it is different from me, it is anatma. And secondly, that I am a seeker of enjoyment because as I am not adequate. So thus, first of all, there is notion, conclusion, opinion or projection about Atma. And secondly, also projection about so-called Anatma. This combination creates in me desire of Trishna. That will satisfy that. But it is the Trishna of something like mirage water. It cannot satisfy my thirst because it doesn't have the waterness. So nothing can satisfy me. Therefore, nothing in the world can ever satisfy me because it doesn't have what I am seeking. So Trishna jirna vayameva jirnaha. Trishna never becomes old, never gets worn out. We get worn out in the process of satisfying this Trishna. Thus, Vedanta identifies Trishna, or sometimes called Kama, is the manifestation of our samsara, of dukkha, of sorrow, cause of sorrow. Trishna has all the potential of sorrow. And that only is the cause of sorrow, another thing. Trying to satisfy the Trishna alone can create dissatisfaction or sense of disappointment. It is like the Trishna of searching for the 10th man. And all my attempts to search or get the 10th man are doomed to fail because there is no such thing as 10th man different from me. There is a 10th man, all right. That the desire of a 10th man is understandable. But there is no 10th man other than me as an Atma. Therefore, my desire or my attempt to satisfy my desire of meeting, acquiring 10th man is doomed to fail. Even though the purpose of my desire is genuine, the need for 10th man is genuine, but the way I am trying to satisfy that need is doomed to failure because I have created distance already. When I desire something, already I have created distance between myself and the object of desire. Already declared unaccomplished because desire can be for something unaccomplished. For anatma, for something that is different from me, all of these are superimposed. What happens is all that is Atma. Atma vedam sarvam. What is Atma? That's called knowledge. And therefore, not knowing that, calling something as an Atma, branding 10th man is lost. That branding of 10th man as lost is what creates the desire for searching for 10th man. So that Trishna is doomed to failure. Therefore, life is nothing but a series of failures, disappointments. At every turn, there is a disappointment. Because unfortunately, in everything that I do, some desire is there, some agenda is there. I never do anything without agenda. What's the agenda? Agenda is to be happy, acquire happiness, acquire success. And I cannot acquire happiness, cannot acquire success, unless I have a little delusion. Oh, here is happiness. Oh, I saw the 10th man, So that creates hope in me and there is some satisfaction, temporary. And it's, oh, no, it's not 10th man. I found happiness, I found success. And then look around it, this way, that way. Doesn't look like success. Look for something else. This is life. From one end to the other, the Trishna is taking us for a ride. And from one end to the other, from pillar to post, as they say in English. It is a never-ending thing. It does not end from one birth to the other. For a series of births, it does not end. So therefore, all we need, what we are seeking in our life, is Trishna Nivrutti. Because Trishna or craving or desire is a result of their inadequacy, incompleteness, and inner pain. I am suffering from inner pain because I am not satisfied with myself, not happy with myself, I am inadequate, I am no good. Regardless of what the world tells me, I may be called the most beautiful person in the world. Swami was the Miss Universe, declared as the most beautiful. But from tomorrow she'll spend twice the amount of time in makeup than she did before because she knows what she is. She doesn't think she is most beautiful. If she thinks it's a complex that will last for a little while, it will be like a high. And so it will become slow then ultimately, like intoxication. So we feel happy when we are intoxicated, not in contact with reality. When the intoxication goes away, I come back to reality, then again I am disappointed. So Trishna. Therefore Trishna vyavrutti hetutvad turiyasya. When Turiya is known as an Atma, it is good that Turiya is devoid of all the attributes, understand. The Turiya is Nirvishesha, Nirguna, Nishkriya, Ashesha Vishesha Shunyam, Samanya Vishesha Shunyam. This is not a Dushanam, this is Bhushanam. We would think, what sort of Turiya, what sort of thing is this? Has no attribute, has no greatness, can't be described. What's the fun in that? Says all of those are Dushanas, meaning that Turiya does not possess all of this. Bhushanam, not Dushanam. But any one of those things will make Turiya limited. If Turiya is Sakriya, Brahman is Sakriya. Sakriya means what? Constantly changing. It's trying to become something. Means inadequate. It possesses quality. Means distinguishes from things other qualities. So this is beautiful. But it's white, it's not red, it's not yellow. So any of those things, whether it is quality, whether it is action, it is relation, everything is limiting. That entity which can be related to, can be described in words, possesses qualities, possesses function. Prime Minister's function still is limited. Any of those things would make Turiya limited. Therefore, knowing Turiya of that nature would have no meaning, because however great a thing is, as long as it is limited, it is not going to satisfy me for any length of time. I must know the nature of my Trishna. What is it that my heart is seeking? It is seeking limitlessness. It is struggling. And not finding what it is seeking, disappointing. So thank God that Turiya is devoid of all the attributes. Means what? It is devoid of all limiting factors. Every attribute limits the things. It distinguishes. The good thing is distinguished from a bad thing. The right is distinguished from the wrong. That's all we know. There is something that is beyond this distinction. You cannot call Turiya right because right is opposed to wrong. You cannot call it good because opposed to bad. You cannot call it great because opposed to insignificant. Turiya is not unopposed to everything, includes everything. Because you will not be quite comfortable in being good also. I am good. But I cannot be comfortable because I know that there are others who are not good and I am different from that. That goodness also excludes me from those which I think are not good. So being good, being right, etc. is all good as far as emotional growth is concerned. Ultimately, we have to in fact let go or grow out of the idea of being good also, because that also limits me. Chet tyaj dharmam adharmam cha. Ube satyanrute tyaja. Ube satyanrute tyaktva yena tajsi tatyaja. First give up adharma by resorting to dharma. Give asatya by resorting to satya. Then ube satyanrute tyaktva. Then adharma is given by dharma. Then drop dharma. Meaning don't identify with dharma that I am a dharma atma, I am a dharmi. I am always right. That also makes you limited. You are separate from what is wrong. And even though I may live in a 50-story building and I am a billionaire, the richest man in the world, and then there are those fellows who are hutmen, and then nothing. But I can't be comfortable with those fellows in my vicinity. I know that I am not them and they are not I. I feel excluded. Therefore, if Turiya could be an object of desire, would have to be achieved, then that would be limited. And therefore, it is only right that it is devoid of all the attributes. Because an attribute limits something. Turiya cannot be the object of desire. Atmatve so atmatvavagame. That which is devoid of all the attributes is devoid of all limitation, therefore is limitless. When limitless is known as Atma, anatma trishna vyavritti hetutvad. There is no anatma now. Because Turi is all inclusive, therefore I realize that I include everything, there is nothing other than me, therefore there is no anatma, there is no trishna visha at all. So both ways. Realizing that there is no anatma, no object of trishna, kimichan kasya kamaya sharinam anusajvaret. Kimichan desiring what? Because there is no object of desire. Kasya kamaya, for whom? There is no desirer. So knowing Turiya as a self, or limitless as a self, or whole and complete as a self, any kamana, trishna born of taking myself incomplete or inadequate, they all go away. Bhashyakar gives standard Shuktika avagameva rajata trishnaya. When I think this is rajata, meaning knowing it wrongly, then only it can become the object of trishna or raga or dvesha. If you know the object as a snake, then it becomes an object of dvesha. This object is known as silver, becomes object of raga. Raga and dvesha both are born on account of not knowing something for what it is. Both are result of aviveka. Nai turiyasya atmadavagame sati avidya trushnaya doshanam sambhavasti. Turiya is called forth. It will be all discussed. Atmatvavagame, there is no Atma, there is no possibility of doshas, all these defects, such as trishna, craving, etc. But you cannot know this Turiya. You can't connect with it, you can't relate to it, you can't describe it. It doesn't possess any qualities. All conventional ways of knowing something are not there in Turiya. So accepting there is some entity called Turiya, that it is limitless, that is free from all attributes, all wonderful. Now we understand that yes, it's worth knowing, should be known. Sa Atma sa Vijnaya, that Turi is Atma and has to be known as Atma, not as it can be known in any way. Naja turiyasya atmatva anagame karanamasti. Bhashyakara says there is no reason why Turiya cannot be known as Atma. No reason. Because it is Atma, therefore. Since Turiya happens to be Atma, and not only that, it happens to be self-revealing. It is already known. Knowledge of Turiya is not knowing something is unknown. then there is no way of knowing it. That Bhashyakara will explain. This knowledge is not the knowledge of something unknown to you. It is the right knowledge of something that is wrongly known to you. Known to you. Had Bhashyakara, we will discuss that when we come to that, but had been unknown, it would mean nothing to me, It has no significance in my life. So, nacha turiyasya atmatva anavagame karanamasti. He said, Turiya cannot be known. He said, there is no reason why it should not be known. Right now, Bhashyakara just quotes Pramanam, Saraswatiji tadarthyan upakshayad. All Upanishads have only one tatparya in mind, one purport in mind, is to reveal Turiya as Atma. So Upanishad is Pramanam. When Pramanam is there, there is no reason why something cannot be known. You follow? Oh, you can never know colors and forms. Why not? Because we have Pramanam called eyes, and therefore there is no reason why colors and forms cannot be known. Ears as a Pramanam, no reason why sounds or words cannot be known. Something cannot be known if there is no means of knowledge. Yes. So we have 5 organs of perception with which you know 5 kind of objects of the world. We don't know the 6 kind of object. We don't know because we have no means of knowing. It could be. There are many things that we cannot see with eyes, like X-rays and stuff like that. And then you extend the eyes through different kinds of X-rays and so forth, and then you can different colors are seen that are not seen by bare eyes. Or the sound that vibration you cannot hear, then again extension of ear by some various new instruments. But ultimately sound is always known by ears, not by the instrument, understand? It's not my glasses that see, my eyes see, glasses aid in seeing of the eyes. So if there are objects that are other than Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, then we don't know. Because we have no Pramanam to know them. If there is Pramanam, eyes are there is no reason why colors and forms cannot be known. If you do not see them, well, maybe the eyes have some defect. Correct them. Then nirdosha. When Pramana becomes nirdosha, free from defect, then they will reveal its object, that is his job. Pramakaranam Pramanam. So what is the only job that a Pramanam means of knowledge serves? It is to reveal the object, illumine the object. In case of Vedanta Nama, Upanishad Pramanam. Upanishad is Pramanam here. So when Pramanam is there, there is no reason why it cannot be known. Bhashyakara just makes a general, statement. When we have the Pramanam, the valid means of knowledge for knowing the Atma, what's the Pramanam? Upanishad. Sarva Upanishadam tadarthena upakshayad. All Upanishads aim at this one conclusion of revealing the nature of Turiya as Atma. That is all that Upanishad does. Tattvamasi, that's all. Tat is Turiya. Tvam is Atma. You are Turiya. So this is Pramanam. And therefore there is no reason why Turiya cannot be known as Atma. If there is a problem in knowledge, it can be with Pramanam. In this instance, the Pramanam is Shastra plus the Shuddhantahkaranam. Yes, Shabda is the Pramanam, all right. But Shabda, a word or a sentence, can create knowledge in my mind, provided my mind has right samskaras, right training. That's the reason why Vedanta insists upon Shanto, Dantaha, Uparataha, Titikshu, Shraddhavetto, Bhutva, Atmaneva, Atmanam Pashyati. He is the self in his own self. When Bhutva have become Shantaha, Dantaha, Uparataha, Titikshu, Samadhi Shatka Sampatti. So it is that mind which has right samskaras where the word will reveal its meaning. When word is there, meaning must be revealed. That's the power that the word has. When the word part is spoken, it is the power to create the cognition of part. And so the word Brahma has the power. You are Brahma has the power to create this cognition, knowledge that I am Brahman. If it does not, it's not the defect of that pramanam, because here, in case of word, now this problem is not there with other pramanam. With eyes, etc., no problem, because eyes will reveal the colors and forms. In Shabda, reveals meaning only when that is the mind that is accompanying with the right training. So Shabda or the word to reveal its meaning requires a receptive mind. In case of a day-to-day communication, you require the samskara, the training of the language. In here, you require some other kind of preparation. And therefore, a receptive mind is required. Vishuddha sattva, what you require is Vishuddha sattva, a pure antahkaranam, pure sattva. Then that antahkarana has the capacity to connect the word with the meaning. Then the word will reveal its meaning in a prepared mind. And you can prepare the mind, you should. When that is there, no reason why knowledge should not take place. When prameya, the object of knowledge, is there, pramanam, the means of knowledge, eyes are there, when the contact of the pramanam and prameya, there is no reason why prama should not take place. It will take place on its own, thank God. Because knowledge is vastu tantram, na purusha tantram. Whether you like it or not, knowledge will take place. So when they are giving treatment, and all kinds of medicines are sprayed, destroy a termite. Whether you want it or not, that stink will come. You cannot, because knows the pramanam, sting is prameya. When the context is there, the perception will take place. So many times I wish I had not heard this. I wish I had not seen it. You can't avoid it. If something is there in front of you, eyes will see. So this is called pramanam that will definitely create the knowledge. And Shastra is pramanam in the form of words. It should definitely create the knowledge. It doesn't create the knowledge, that means that the mind is not yet prepared to connect the word and its meaning, so prepare that. By antahkarana shuddhi, by paunah punyena shravanam kurya. Even with shuddha antahkarana also the knowledge will not take place. Shravanam is required. Paunah punyena shravanam kuryat. Because the mind is so infused with the idea and conclusion of duality, that non-duality will require to penetrate my mind. Again and again we have to listen. Again and again we have to do the vichara or invest, thinking, contemplation. But there is no reason why knowledge should not take place. If not today, tomorrow, it has to take place. All the knowledge requires is the words of the Upanishad, a statement of Upanishad, Mahavakya, and a prepared mind. So it is preparation of mind that takes whatever time it takes. That's the sadhana. First preparation is in the form of the antahkarana shuddhi or sadhana chatusya sampatti, and then preparation in the form of the shravanam. Paunah punyan. Until the words create meaning in your mind. Keep on listening, meaning keep on contemplating. That's what is. Listening is not just listening. Atma vicharah kartavya. So there is no reason. Nacha turiyasya atma anagave karanamasti. There is no reason why turiya cannot be known as atma, because sarva upanishadam tadarthena upakshayad. Because all the Upanishads, in fact, have only one aim, and that is revealing Turiya as Atma. So Pramanam is there. The Pramanam Upanishad is there. The prameya turiya also is there. So the prama must take place. If it doesn't take place, do what is required for prama to take place. Number one, should take place. No, it can't take place. So first of all, overcome that idea. You have pramana, and you have the atma, and you have the mind. So what you require is this right preparation of mind. Keep doing that. What's the pramanam? Where turiya is revealed as atma, tattvamasi, tat is turiya. You are turiya, or Brahma. Different words may be used, doesn't matter what word is, no word describes it anyway. So tat satyam sa atma. So sometimes called satyam, called sat, sometimes atma, sometimes tat, Brahma, bhuma. Ayam atma Brahma. This atma is Brahma. Again, the identity of atma and Brahma. Tattvamasi, identity of Tat, and Tvam, identity in a primary sense. So they try to interpret this vakya in different ways. But these vakyas do not lend themselves to any other interpretation than primary interpretation of identity. Not some kind of relationship, not a part and whole and stuff like that. Identity. Tat is Tvam. Tvam is Tat. Ayam Atma Brahma. So sarvam etad Brahma. Om etad yam sarvam. Sarvam etad Brahma. Ayam Atma Brahma. Atma is Brahma. Brahma is Atma. So begin with this conviction. So even if the aparoksha jnana will take place, provided this conviction is there. If there is a question about, no, I don't think so, then this thing will not happen. Therefore, yame vaisha vrunute tena labhya tasya atma vrunute tanum swam. One who has this conviction that today is Atma, I have no doubt about that. They have to see that fact. But chitvainam samshayam yogam atishta chitvainam samshayam. Should be no samshaya. That is why pramana, we relate to pramana only with Shraddha. Eyes will reveal the color. He says white, then that's what it is. No, it cannot be white. Then, have trust in your eyes, trust in pramana. That's what Shraddha. So Shraddha in Upanishad. And then Guru also, because Upanishad comes to us through Guru. Shastrasya, Guru Vakyasya, Satya Buddhyavadharanam. So have that preparation first. That's why all these Shraddha, Sama, all of this is told. You know that pramana will work. You know that I am Brahman. You know that knowledge can take place. The conviction that I am Brahman, that Shastra is Pramana, and that knowledge will take place. You start with this conviction. If there is not there, then perhaps the mind will not settle down. It will not be focused. When one has made this conviction, had discovered this conviction, and so then there is no swerving from the unswerving Shraddha. Shraddha is unswerving trust. No, knowledge is not taking place. Will take place. You continue. So therefore, don't give up the right effort. Right effort should be done. Atmavara drashtavya must be seen, shrotavya, mantavya, nididhyasavya. The means are there. Have trust. Because Pramanam itself says, shrotavya, mantavya, nididhyasavya. So start with this mindset. That Turiya can be known as Atma, and that I can know it as my Atma, myself. If not today, tomorrow, I will know it. I can know it, I will know it. And therefore, I have to make necessary effort. That should be my commitment. So, Bhashyakara quoted a few statements from the Upanishad. Udahana leshena darshayati. There are any number of statements of Upanishads which reveal the identity of Atma and Brahman. Of them, a few are quoted here. Sabhashyabhyantaro hyajaha. Saha is Bhashya Abhyantara. Means everywhere, everything. With Bhashya also is him, Abhyantara also is him. What is his Atma? Saha, Paramatma. So Paramatma is outside. What is outside is Paramatma, what is inside is Paramatma, what is Paramatma, so all that is Paramatma. Atma evedam sarvam vidi. All this is nothing but Atma. There is no Anatma. Atma evedam sarvam means what? All this is Atma. Then what is Anatma? So Upanishad says, what is Atma? There is no such thing as Anatma at all. We start our life with division Atma, Anatma. That's how we start. In Upanishad there is no Anatma. Then where is Anatma is only in your mind. There is no such entity, because Atma evedam sarvam, all of this is Atma. That's what Upanishad says. But I say there is an Atma. Stop saying. Upanishad says there is Atma. So start from there. You tell me what is an Atma. Oh, this is all Anatma. What is this? What is out there? Out of what? Outside the body? If body is Atma, then this is all Anatma. But body also is Anatma. That body also, if Drishya is Anatma, the body also is Drishya. Mind also is Drishya. And therefore, who you are Drashta? Where do you end? Where does the Drashta end? Where does Drishya begin? What's the dividing line between subject and object? I am subject, that is object. I am different, that is different. If the two things are different, then there must be a dividing line. What divides the subject from the object? Drashta from Drishya? For something to become Drishya, the Drashta must be there. Unless something is eliminated by me, by Drashta, it cannot be Drishyam. And therefore, Drashta must be there, the consciousness must be there for this thing to become Drishya. So beyond that, that's another line, that is also Drishya. Anything that you can imagine as the dividing line has to first become the object of your knowledge. Because nothing divides. That means that the Drashta has no boundary at all. Any boundary that you think of dividing Drashta from Drishya itself becomes Drishya. Drashta is already there. So Atma evadam sarvam, all there is Atma, nothing else. There is no Anatma which stands apart from Atma. What is the idea is that nothing stands apart from Atma, nothing stands apart from you. All this is different. Well, they're different from your body, different from your mind. The upadhi is different from this upadhi. One spark is different from the spark, but the fire is not different from fire. So manyness of the sparks is taken to be manyness of fire. That's not right. So manyness of the upadhi is taken to be manyness of Atma. And then you say, I am one Atma, is another Atma, I am Atma, is Anatma. There is no Anatma. Atma eva idam sarvam. All this Atma, all this is self. There is no non-self. Meaning that non-self is an imagination, is a projection, is a notion. So you don't have to create notion about Atma. Notion is about Anatma. There is no Anatma. Give up Anatma. Then all limitations go away. Because Anatma is there, when I limit the Atma to a boundary, then anything outside the boundary becomes Anatma. If there is no Anatma, then there is no boundary of the Atma. So Atma is boundless, all inclusive. That's what you are. That's Turiya. So that is all that Upanishad wants. Upanishad wants to give knowledge of not something new, of something that is already known or experienced, about which these wrong notions are entertained. So Anatma is a notion in my mind. There is no Anatma. That Brahman is separate from is a notion in my mind. There is no separation. that I am limited, the Trishna is that. That's a notion in the mind. There's no limitation. Nothing, there's no limitation at all. You can talk of pranas, desha, kala. Those things have no reality. So everything ultimately, disappears. The reality disappears. So this is how Upanishad reveals. And that's the only agenda Upanishad has. All Upanishad have one agenda. Other pramanas have other agendas. Pramana always has one agenda, by the way. Either a pramanam is one agenda to reveal color. If I starts revealing sound also, then there is going to be confusion. Pramana cannot have more than one agenda. They don't interfere with each other. And therefore they don't grab each other. Everybody is confined to their own thing, and then only that glory is there. If eye starts also hearing and ear starts seeing, then there will be going to be all kinds of conflict. So pramana reveals only one thing. Upanishad pramana revealing only one thing, tattvamasi. For nothing else it is pramana. There may be other descriptions there. You talk about creation, all kinds of things. It's not pramana for that. Upanishad is pramana for only the non-duality. Identity of tat and tam. For that only it is pramana. If other things are there, it is meant to help you understand this, that's all. If the creation is described, there is a purpose. Whatever Upanishad has a purpose. What is the purpose? One purpose, tattvamasi. To help us understand that, other things may be described, not for simple purpose of description only, as an aid to understand that. So they call avantara vakya. It's called mahavakya, avantara vakya. So tattvamasi is the only vakya, mahavakya. Rest is all meant to help us understand the meaning of tattvamasi. So when pramana is there, when reality is there, experienced, if Turiya was not experienced, then you can say, how can it be known? So this is all experienced. Eyes are there, then cognition that this is white has to take place. So Turiya is experienced. There is pramana in terms of the vakya. The knowledge has to take place. Therefore, nacha turiyasya atma anavagame karanamasti. Very beautiful statement and very emphatic statement. There is no reason why turiya can be known as atma. When pramanam is there, prameya is there, no reason why prama or valid knowledge should not take place. If it doesn't take place, then what we need is the karanam, the means of knowledge has to be polished, has to be purified. Then it's a, because turiya is atma. It's not you have to make it atma. And you're experiencing turiya only is atma. That's what you're doing, already doing. If there is not so, then there will be a question of how can you know it? It's a matter of not knowing a known thing. It's a matter of removing the notions or brahma, delusion about what is already known. So that's why the process of negation is the right way here, not assertion here. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Ishvaro Gururatmedi Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.